Transformers the game, a defining video game of my generation. I realize that older fans kind of hate this game for some reason, but really, the disconnect between older and younger fans cannot be more irrelevant, especially right now.
Wow, this is garbage. You actually like this?
A GTA-style Transformers game where you can destroy the town, mess around, and make your own fun. Or you could follow the story, which has a lot of fetch quest / punch 'em up levels in them. One thing that was a bit crazy though was the enemies. The main Decepticons from the movie were your bosses, being Barricade, Blackout, and Starscream at the same time, holy shit, then Brawl and Megatron. In between all that, you had Shockwave, who didn't even appear in the movie. You know, between intervals with those guys, the Autobots needed something else to do besides, get chased around by Sector 7, so the Decepticon drones come in. The Decepticon drones are a big part of the Bayverse experience for me because they're also a part of the tie-in movie media, also the comics. In the game, they range from annoying little dweebs who try to shoot you or punch you in the mouth, or threatening difficult dudes who you might have to hit with something to stop them, or just Payload, who hits you as hard as my high school football coach hits a door. Yes, this really happened. And then there's Dreadwing, who's super annoying to stop in the game, super annoying to kill, and his figure is weird as fuck. Now at first you might think, hey, this is an alright looking jet. It's not that weird. And you're right, it's not too bad. It's a MiG-29 jet with some modifications, apparently, and it's pretty spot on. It's got the detailing down and the proportions for the jet just right. Of course, it's completely out of scale because it's a deluxe. Would be a little bit better if it was a Voyager, but that's neither here or there. It's got all the detailing and proportions down except for the little needle on the end of the nose cone, which is probably a safety hazard thing.
At least that means we don't have any safety hazards, right? Right?
Now, the jet works really well until you go to the underside. It looks good, but what is that? David, what the hell is that? It's actually not on the jet at all. Like, I don't know what it's supposed to be. Is it like a pipe or a bomb underneath? I don't really know. But color-wise, it's pretty cool. The blue and gray camo is really working for me. It's very, very cyberjet.
Whoa, slow down, Tiger.
I'm getting a little ahead of myself there, aren't I? If this color scheme's not doing it for you, you can bring in the black and yellow version, which is Overcast. It's the exact same mold except one, it's all spark power, so it automatically wins brownie points with me there. And he's got all these cool black and yellow accents. In the games, he's just one of the duplicate drones, but in the comics, he's a part of a faceless army of drones that are duplicates of Dreadwing that he uses to betray Starscream. But that's because in the Bayverse universe, Dreadwing is Starscream basically. And now the reason I said I was getting ahead of myself earlier. This is an actual homage to a cyberjet. More specifically, this is a repaint of this mold in Revenge of the Fallen called Fiercewoop, who is an homage to G2 Cyberjet Hooligan. As for features, this thing has wheels on that pipe thing underneath it, which is absolutely ridiculous. I'm not going to call it landing gear, because the second this thing lands or tries to turn to park on the tarmac, boom, another Boeing lawsuit.
That joke's not in bad taste, right?
Yeah, I probably shouldn't be making a plane crash joke the day before TFCon. David, why did you put this in? Why'd you leave this in here?
And we've got missile launchers, but the triggers are sensitive.
Ah, damn it, my eye!
So yeah, jet mode's not that bad, but there's really not much else going on there. So I guess we can move on to robot mode now.
David, transformation.
The transformation is different, and it's actually pretty unique. It causes some problems in both modes that we'll get to later, but I do really enjoy how the arms work, the way the wings kind of fold around them and get out of the way. I think that's really neat, and the automorph is pretty cool. Also, I do think it's a pretty unique way of getting rid of the legs, even though it doesn't show up on the actual jet mode, but I'm still here for it. It's still pretty cool. And now, the robot mode. I'm sorry, guys. This thing is just so hilarious. I like the design, but just in comparison to its media, it's clear that artistic liberties were taken. But then again, this is proportionally different than the game model too, but I mean, it's still got the spirit. But is it great? Nah. I mean, it's not bad. It's just a lot of the unique things it does affects playability, and that's not something I want there. You know, the proportions have a bit of issues when you struggle to get him in any dynamic poses. Plus, you can't really have him standing or walking around in a pose because it looks like he shit his pants every time you try to pose him like that. But I can't fault it. It does still kind of look cool at the same time. Plus, he's just very well detailed too, especially on his arms. I mean, all of his molded in detail is either intricately detailed or just painted in and intricately detailed. Plus, I mean, he's got that VTOL like core thing inside of him, which is actually a very iconic thing for these drones to have. And all of the toys have it except for Swindle. His is actually like this stomach boner gun, which, I mean, it's really weird. And it'd be even weirder if this is how he attacked in the game, which, thank God, it's not.
Bumblebee, destroy all of the Decepticon drones.
But hey, at least the core thing looks good here. And I'm sure it looks like a VTOL here because, well, jet. Now, I know I was making fun of the lens face, but it still kind of looks cool. I get the faceless army thing they were going for. It's a lens and a mono eye. Everyone's probably looking at Shockwave like,
You and him could be cousins.
yeah, I'm not so sure about that because Dreadwing is sure not as bright as Shockwave. But who needs smarts when you can teleport like a badass? And of course he can fire flames from his hands, so that's pretty cool too. But in this mode his only feature is being able to fire his missiles again. I'm blind now. Thanks a lot, David. But hey, the upside to this is, now that I'm blind, I can focus on my music career. And there's actually like a 99% chance that I'm actually Ray Charles, so... Articulation on Dreadwing is fine, I guess. It's a lot of ball joints. So the head's on a hinge, and then it's also on a ball joint stem, so it can kind of do the, you know, type thing. I don't know. The arms are on ball joints, but they're hindered by the wings to go all the way back and forward. They can at least go outward that far. They have an inward elbow. That's random. You don't see that very often. He can go forward only that far. He can go back that far. Again, don't know what's up with that. He can swivel there. I guess you can call these fingers or claws, because I mean that's how they've treated him most of the time. The legs go all the way out because of transformation, which is cool. He's got a waist swivel. He has a forward movement like Soundwave, Masterpiece Soundwave. They do that whole thing. And then he's got knee hinges as well. No thigh swivel to speak of, unfortunately. And then, of course, he's got toes that move, and then he's got this crap that helps him stand. I hate this joint. It looks so stupid. I mean, look at that. It looks ridiculous. But, I mean, it's fine. I mean, he'll stand up on a shelf. I mean, if that's what you want. It's passable. I will say that. It's passable. Overall, this guy's pretty jank. He's not bad by any means, but he's not fantastic either. I can't recommend him as much as the rest of the 2007 guys, but he does fill a crowd. He is a good army builder for what he is, and he's honestly not that bad of a pickup if you're wanting to do some research. So, I mean, if you can get your hands on him for cheap, go ahead and give him a look. But You're not missing too much. He's a very, very strange figure. There are better things in the 2007 line. But there are also worse things. Like this, for instance. This will probably be a TFCon pickup. I gotta review him soon.
With that being said, keep growing your collections. Treebot out.